Come on. Come on, be entertaining. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Man Takes Shoes Out of Box. It's the episode where you get to sit there and watch me, a grown man, take some shoes out of a box and then tell you what I think of them. Today we are talking about a very interesting new shoe from Nike. Unlike traditional Nike sportswear shoes that are purpose-made for athletic performance, these things have been made for stunting, flexing, looking sharp and smart. The only athletic performance that one would possibly seek to undertake in wearing these might be ballroom dancing, or in the context in which the shoes were conceived, maybe running for your boarding gate when you're running late for your flight. We are talking about these, the Nike Air afrique RK61s. This particular colorway is in the triple coconut milk, and it's a dress shoe. Who would have thought in 2025, actually, to be fair, the existence of this shoe shouldn't really come as a surprise, and we're going to talk a little bit about how it is that we got to this point in sneaker culture. But first and foremost, let's give a little bit of background around this particular shoe. So it's a really interesting collaboration. It's a collab between Nike and Air afrique. Air afrique used to be a Pan-African airline that operated between 1961 and 2002. Since then, it's become a Paris-based creative collective, and the whole idea of the shoe is to basically celebrate getting dressed up to go and visit your family. There are several details within the shoes that we are going to go over momentarily that pay homage to the airline, as well as the idea around dressing up to the hilt in order to visit your extended family. And the advertising and marketing campaign around the release of the shoe has been rich in the storytelling. The marketing featured generations of Afro-diasporic icons, including Didier Drogba, Oumou Sangare. And so this shoe has some really wicked storytelling, some really cool history, and comes into the market at a really interesting time where loafers and dress shoes and plays on more smart and preppy footwear are being utilized by a lot of athletic brands that have broken the mold of being held to solely athletic sneakers. So let's talk a little bit about the packaging. Now, the first thing to note is if you have a pair of these, or if you have a pair of these on the way, is the weight of the box. Generally, you can tell you've got a pretty serious quality product to hand when the weight is kind of telling. It's also a sign that this is anything but an athletic shoe or a running shoe, because those things be light. The design of the box is pretty cool. It's like a green and blue tartan design all over the upper with the Air afrique branding on the lid. The Air afrique branding is primarily featuring in green and blacks. And so this tartan design, I think, may correspond to designs within the cabin of the airplane, or maybe it's like the traditional uniform of the Air afrique airline hosts. I'm not so sure, but it's a very cool box nonetheless. Opening the box, you get yourself a nice cheeky dust bag, which is always a nice touch when you've got an elevated piece of footwear. It's quite a lightweight sort of linen material, which is kind of nice. And you also get the Air afrique and Nike co-branding on the dust bag itself. Air afrique detailing on the paper on the inside. And then the shoes themselves. I got myself a pair of the triple coconuts because, bro, the black pair is sold out. And that's the thing. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably not going to be massive fans of these because this isn't a sneaker, it's a dress shoe, it's a loafer. It's more appropriate for courts rather than the courts. Regardless of your own personal position on this shoe, what can't be denied is the popularity. These things have sold out on the Nike sites. Most retailers have sold out of the blacks. I managed to pick this pair up on Dover Street Market, and I think there might even still be a couple of sneaky sizes still sitting. Black pair more popular than the lighter colored pair, but let's go through the details. So the shoe itself has a few cheeky design references, including the classic Air Max Sunder and other timeless moccasin styles. The design details also have some nods to the brand's aviation heritage, including this Air Max unit inspired by a jet engine. You also have Morse code spelling Air afrique on the outsole. Got a zipper pull featuring the original airline logo, and then a jacquard sock liner reminiscent of vintage aircraft seats. Now the colorway itself sports three different hues of coconuts. The upper in this kind of coarse leather suede, almost looks a little bit like the coconut husk. And then you've got the creamier leather panel wrapping around the mudguard, and a really nice quality feeling leather that has a slightly lighter look to it. And then even more creamier is the midsole and outsole combo. Very clean, very simple, because you get a slightly different hue in 3 different levels going from top to the bottom. They have a nice little bit of pop to them and a duality about them, which I kind of like. There is a really nice little contrast with the golden zipper, which features the Air Afrique logo as well as the zipper itself. And then on the outsole, you get this really wicked golden plate right in the middle of the foot that has a reflective quality about it that is obviously going to add that little bit of flash when you're walking and you reveal the outsole under your gait. Very cool. The air unit technology as well gives these that subtle Nike nod reference, and you can also see how the air unit plays out in the bottom of the shoe as well, as you have an air unit cutout right underneath the heel there. The inside liner of the shoe is really nice as well, featuring the moquette design from the seats of the Air Afrique aircraft. The insole features really similar detailing as well, and bro, they just have a really luxurious, really elevated, really preppy look about them. In terms of how they fit, I'd recommend going true to size, or maybe even a half size down if you have a narrow foot. I went true to size with these and found them to be nice and roomy in the toe box. They are a little bit tricky to get on for the first time because these materials feel like they're of a really decent quality. They're quite stiff around the heel collar, so you'll have to undo the laces, undo the zip, and then give yourself a little bit of room to get into these for the first time. In terms of the comforts, the first thing to say is they are quite heavy, as you'd expect from a premium dress shoe. The comfort isn't like outstanding, but they're perfectly fine for a dress shoe. This is one of those rare occasions where I feel like the air unit is actually doing a lot of heavy lifting in the shoes. And so how did we get here in 2025, where one of Nike's most popular bits of footwear isn't even a shoe you can do anything athletic in? I mean, Jordans are sitting everywhere, but these dress shoes, bro, these are sold out. And these weren't even cheap either. These were 185 pounds, which is right up there alongside the prices of a lot of these retro J's. Well, let's talk about it. To say that brands have not been taking notice of all of the different micro trends popping up on social media, in streetwear and fashion culture over the past few years would be to plead and admit absolute ignorance. We've seen it with brands like New Balance, who have basically hybridized their athletic footwear with the loafer to give us the sneaker loafer. We've seen a whole bunch of other brands take hold of that same type of motif. Seen the same thing happen with the Birkenstocks or the clogs trends, the slides trend. Basically, if there is a trend popping off in some sector of social media that's getting the attention of the young kids, you can bet that any of the main athletic brands are going to produce their own version in time. And this is Nike's own reaction to the loafer trend, to the dress shoe trend, to the boat shoe trend, to the new money trend that has been circulating around on social media in recent times. The good thing that Nike's done, in my opinion, is that they have decided to go into a lot of depth with the storytelling, with the cultural references, and they've partnered up with Air Afrique, who have a lot of integrity and skin in the game. Not just making a dress shoe for dress shoe's sake, but actually buying into some storytelling around why wearing dress shoes is particularly important, brings a whole new level of meaning to this particular shoe, and drawing on those cultural touchstones to inform the design and bring to the market an elevated product is an absolute masterstroke, and explains why this product has been so popularly received. A lot of people out there can certainly relate to the idea of getting dressed up to go home to see your family, or to visit relatives, or to meet at church, or to attend a wedding. There's something pretty deep in the idea that these shoes represent that a lot of people can relate to. And so not only are these shoes somewhat on trend, albeit not with all sneakerheads, I know that, but this is a trend. This has been a trend. And the fact that Nike have decided to jump on it in a very honest way, I think is a really nice touch. Me personally, I really like these shoes. Actually, I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about them. I mean, most of the shoes that I wear, running shoes and walking shoes and basketball shoes, I only have one pair of dress shoes that I've only worn a couple of times in the past 5 years. One was to someone else's wedding, one was to my own wedding. And so to get these in, I'm kind of like, yo, these might be a nice little addition to have to funk up some outfits or to bring about a slightly different look. I mean, heck, this is like a 40-year-old man shoe that as a 40-year-old man, I could get down with wearing. So I think it's a great shoe. I'm really impressed with the quality. I like the aesthetic. I think it's one of those shoes that from a streetwear perspective, you almost look or attempt to try to dress down. And so I'm gonna be dressing these down big time. But at the same point, you could throw these on with suits and look totally smart. So it's a dub shoe, in my opinion. What do you guys think about the Nike loafers, the Air R1s? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, I appreciate you guys messing with the content. Do me a favor and like the video before you bounce. And also, if you guys wouldn't mind going over and subscribing to my second channel, I really would appreciate it. And if you want to support me in my quest to continue to keep bringing you guys these certified hood classics, please consider subscribing to my Patreon. The link will be in the description. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.